Translate this and my salary is yours, the millionaire said with a smug laugh, tossing a thick book written in a foreign language onto the polished glass table. His voice carried arrogance, the kind of tone that looks down on people who don't share the same privileges. The house fell silent, except for the faint sound of the maid's nervous breathing. Standing at the edge of the grand room, she clutched her apron tightly, her eyes lowered, embarrassed and helpless. She didn't even understand what he had said entirely, only that her dignity was being mocked. Her daughter Aisha, who had just returned from her college library, overheard the words. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. All her life she had seen her mother serve this wealthy man's family with loyalty and humility, yet in return they gave her nothing but harshness and ridicule. Aisha wanted to step forward immediately, but her mother's eyes warned her to stay quiet. Still, something inside her stirred, something powerful, like a flame refusing to be smothered. The millionaire leaned back in his leather chair, crossing his arms, his lips curved in a cruel smile. You can't even understand English properly, can you? And you think you deserve the raise you keep asking for? Fine, translate this book into Urdu. If you succeed, I'll give you my salary for the month. His friends, sitting nearby with their expensive watches and suits, burst into laughter, mocking the maid as if she were entertainment for the evening. The maid's hands trembled and her lips quivered as tears filled her eyes. She whispered, "Sir, I never claimed I was educated. I only asked for what could help me feed my child." But her words drowned in their laughter. That's when Aisha stepped forward. Her small frame contrasted against the vast, intimidating room, but her voice carried a firmness that silenced the noise. "I can do it." The room turned still. The millionaire raised his brows, amused but slightly annoyed at the interruption. "You," he scoffed, "and who might you be?" "I'm her daughter," Aisha said, her eyes steady, "and I will translate it for you." A hush fell over the group of men. One of them smirked. "This should be fun. Let's see what the maid's child has got." Aisha took the book in her hands. It was a piece of advanced literature, filled with complex vocabulary and cultural references even many educated people would struggle with. She flipped through the first page, her heart hammering, but her determination unshaken. As she began to read and translate aloud, her voice flowed like music, clear, articulate, and confident. Sentence after sentence, paragraph after paragraph, she carried the meaning flawlessly into Urdu, capturing not just the literal words, but also the emotions behind them. The room grew quiet. The millionaire's smile faded. His eyes widened as he realized that this girl, whom he had dismissed as the daughter of a servant, possessed knowledge and grace that outshone even his own well-educated children. The mocking laughter had disappeared. Now there was only silence and the sound of Aisha's powerful translation. Her mother stood frozen, tears streaming down her face, not from shame anymore, but from pride. Never had she seen her daughter so radiant, so unshakable. All the sacrifices she had made, all the sleepless nights, all the meals she had skipped to pay for Aisha's education were now worth it. When Aisha finished, she closed the book and placed it gently on the table. Her eyes met the millionaire's, unwavering. "Does my mother deserve her raise now?" she asked quietly, yet her words echoed louder than any shout could. The millionaire shifted uncomfortably in his chair. For the first time in years, he had been humbled. He cleared his throat, unable to meet the piercing gaze of the girl who had just destroyed his arrogance. "Yes," he muttered, his voice barely audible, "she deserves more than that." But Aisha wasn't done. "Money is not the only respect she deserves," she said firmly. "What she truly deserves is dignity. Remember, sir, wealth doesn't make you great, character does. And sometimes the people you look down on are greater than you'll ever be." The room fell completely silent. The millionaire's friends avoided his eyes, ashamed of their own laughter. In that moment, the grand hall no longer felt like a palace of power, but like a courtroom where truth had been declared. The millionaire, with his pride shattered, stood up slowly. "You've taught me something today," he admitted, his voice soft. "Your mother will never be treated this way again." Aisha helped her mother to her feet. The maid, still overwhelmed, whispered, "I'm proud of you, my child." Together, they walked out of the mansion, leaving behind the stunned silence of men who would never forget the lesson they had just witnessed. That night, under the modest roof of their small home, Aisha and her mother shared a simple meal, but it tasted better than any feast because it was seasoned with dignity, love, and the sweet triumph of justice. And the message that lingered in the hearts of all who heard the story was clear: never underestimate the quiet strength of the people you look down upon. Sometimes, the most extraordinary courage and brilliance comes from the humblest of places.